Coming up on the inaugural episode of the Buccaneers Coaches Show, it's all hoops as we sit down with coaches Jeff Fore and Gordon Stubblefield to preview the upcoming men's and women's basketball season. All right, welcome everyone, and thanks for tuning into the first edition of the Buccaneers Coaches Show. My name is Brandon Jensen, alongside my first guest on the Coaches Show, head women's basketball coach Jeff Fore. Coach, thanks for sitting down with me today.
Absolutely.
And we can finally say it. How does it feel to be able to finally say it's game week?
It's hard to believe. It's been a long time coming, and all the challenges we've had with obviously being in a global pandemic and getting school started. It feels good. It feels good to finally say it's game week, and everything goes well. We'll be on the floor Thursday night.
And you touched on it, but obviously this has been a challenging off season, and just how have things been different from you from a basketball standpoint?
Well, I think, obviously the student safety has, been the biggest aspect. We got started, shortly after the kids arrived, and, things went pretty good for the first 2 weeks, and then had one of our players that, got sick, and we all went for testing, and of course, unfortunately, we had one that tested positive, and we had to take a break, and, I think keeping the kids in shape, trying to build on the 2 weeks that we had done, and then take the 2 weeks off, and then get back. Today was only our 10th practice, so I think the real difference is the amount of time that we've had to prepare the young ladies for competition has been way different. I've never had, in this case, it'll be about 13 practices before we play. So I think that's been the biggest challenge, trying to mix the newcomers with the returners and try to get some kind of a flow with things with the limited amount of time we've had. So it's been a challenge, but, I think we're up to the challenge, and we'll be ready to lace it up and go Thursday night.
Now, before we get into the specifics of the roster this year and what's coming up this week, I want to talk big picture a little bit. You've had a goal to be nationally relevant in the next 3 to 4 years. How do you feel your program and our school specifically has moved in that direction?
I think we've moved in a really positive direction. When you look at it from, all of our sports, even our first year, I think, the challenges you have of bringing in a new class, the first year class, obviously dominated by a large number of freshmen. We decided in our program to go with predominantly freshmen. We had very few upperclassmen. That's a challenge. The jump from high school to college is significant. The physicality of the game, the speed of the game, I think has been a challenge. But when you look at what I said is our 3-year plan, to bring in that first class, to build the culture, to identify those 3, 4, 5 kids that we think are really going to help us take the program to the next level, and then really fill the gaps. Hey, we've got a gap here, we got a gap here, and fill those in, and really we've done that. I think that's great. We're going to have other gaps to fill moving forward, but we think we're in a good place coming out of last year with where we were. A good returning class, a good newcoming class, and then we've already got 5 commits for our 2021 class, and so that really looks bright. So, I think we're on a good trajectory, and I think, we're going to be in the conversation, hopefully CalPAC championship, first trip to the NAI in year 3, which is what we wanted.
You talked about filling the gaps, and one gap on your team last year was turnovers. And you've got coming in from Trinidad Junior College, Destiny Vigil. How does she help you in that department?
Absolutely. I think, if you look back at our team, I think it was point guard by committee. And I think that's one of the challenges that we had, bringing in our first recruiting class. We ended up losing a couple of our committed point guards. One decided they wanted to go into nursing, so we lost her after she committed, did a major change. Had another one of our point guards out of Oregon decided she wanted to be a model. And so she moved to LA to be a model. So, we were challenged last year at the point guard slot. What Destiny does is it gives us not only experience as a junior college player, but it helps surround some experience and some maturity around the rest of our young team. So that's going to help us tremendously, be able to put the ball in somebody's hand like Destiny, who can obviously handle the ball, will be able to handle pressure, is not going to get too bent out of shape, if teams throw a press at us, but at the same time just kind of be that calming effect on the floor. So she'll be a big piece of why we're going to be successful this year.
You touched on the maturity that Destiny brings over, and last year you were mostly led by freshmen, but you've got 2 seniors coming in, Allison Hadaway and Marlene Salazar. What do they bring to the squad? Again,
just that level of maturity, just that level-headed, been through it, college experience. I think one of the challenges you have as a new program, and when you look at bringing in all freshmen, is that you're looking for that leader. You're looking for somebody to step up. Well, the challenge you've got is our freshmen are looking to the left and looking to the right and going, well, you're freshmen too. So I think it's hard for them to step out of their box. I think what Marlene and Allison give us is that those 2 players that have been through this, They've played at a higher level. They're coming in from a school, Division II school that closed down. So again, just more experience that our players can rely on and look toward. And I mean, you can just tell even this year in practice, just the step forward, take charge that Destiny, Allison, and Marlene have had is a huge difference.
And obviously we know what to expect out of, say, Elise Young, Anna Lau. They're consistent. They hold themselves accountable in practice. Who's somebody, though, that maybe we don't have on our radars that stood out to you so far?
I think I'd have to say Jasmine Kelly. I mean, Jasmine Kelly really worked hard, and everything that went on this summer in quarantine, she lives in California. I think she really made a commitment mentally and physically to getting better, and she's been a huge surprise. We knew Jasmine was going to be a really good player. I mean, just physically, she has a college-type body, but I think what she's shown so far in the preseason is somebody who's willing to step up. I think somebody who's going to make big strides this year, and again, add to Anna what Anna did last year. Obviously, she's a lot better. Elise, I mean, what she did last year, you're still going to get that, but Jasmine Kelly, adding her to those three that we have coming in, I think that's going to be a huge plus. But yeah, Jasmine Kelly's really showed us a lot early, and expect big things out of her.
And looking ahead to Thursday, you go up the road to Phoenix, SAGU, AIC. What's it going to take to leave Phoenix with a win?
Well, I think just, be ourselves. There's going to be some first game jitters, there's going to be some things, but I think if we just come out and play like we're capable of playing, defensively, the effort's there, the energy's there, the passion is there, we should be okay. SAGU played the other day. They played Arizona Christian. They've got a game under their belt, so those first game jitters, I think for them will be out. It'll be their first home game. It'll be our first game with our group. But I think we're in good position. We've had, even though we're only 10 days into practice, our 10th practice, and we only have 13 under our belt, we've seen the intensity. We've seen things step up. So, we feel really good. If we just go do what we need to do, and players will play within themselves, and we come with energy and passion and enthusiasm, and defensively, I think if we can do that, we'll be in good shape.
Well, Coach, thanks for joining me. Good luck on Thursday against SAGU and the rest of this season. And remember, SAGU is our first live stream. You can catch it on Facebook Live and our YouTube channels.
Thank you.
Now joining me on the Coaches Show is men's basketball head coach Gordon Stubblefield. Gordon, thanks for sitting down with me today.
You're welcome.
Cool. So your first games are just a couple of days away. You got 2 this weekend, Fultz Classic hosted by ACU. How do you feel about how this offseason has gone, and how do you feel going into those 2 games this weekend?
Well, of course, with the whole, COVID-19 situation, it's kind of been, up and down. We've been able to get a good month of practice in for the guys, and so I'm feeling good about what we got going on as far as going into the games this weekend. So I think we should be fine as long as we play together, execute, and like I said, pretty much just play together.
Yeah, playing together is going to be really important. 2 guys who played together last season as freshmen are going to be Carson Mattoon and Martin Simon. Mm-hmm. They were freshmen last season, kind of exceeded expectations. Now they're going into their sophomore year. How have they been developing, and what do you expect out of them this year? They've
been coming along real good. I'll say that talking with Carson and also Martin, they have a better understanding of what we want done as far as the coaching staff, as far as them on the basketball court. Carson, in particular, has been gotten a lot better on the defensive end, which I thought he kind of struggled with last year. So he's embraced that a lot more this year. So I'm looking forward to him to playing a lot better defense and also getting some steals and whatnot in that situation right there. As far as Martin goes, Martin has gotten a lot better around the basket. Last year he kind of struggled around the basket because of his size, but he's what we call basically a fire plug. A big burly kid, but doesn't have the height. So he's looking forward to pushing some guys around and trying to score the basketball for us.
And those are your returners, but you've also got some transfers coming in. One in particular I want to talk about is Jonah LeBranch. What are you expecting out of him this season, and just what makes him so special? I'm looking
for Jonah to be one of my scorers for the year. He can shoot the ball. He's also a big enough kid where he can post up as well. And so we're looking to put him in mismatches on the block, but also having him do some pick and pop stuff. And on the defensive end, I'm looking for him to get a lot of defensive rebounds for us so that we can push the ball at the floor and set him up again, like I said, for some offensive success.
We've talked returners now, we've talked transfers, but one guy that you're going to be without is Tyson Behringer.
Yes.
Kind of sounds like he's going to be redshirting. How does that change what you guys do on both ends of the court and just how you prepare?
Yeah, with Tyson, unfortunately, due to eligibility issues, he won't be able to play. So what we got to do basically is, and I'll take this quote from Mike Tomlin, the Pittsburgh Steelers coach, and that is the next man up. So Eric Patton, Jonah LeBranch, Martin Simon, all my guys in the middle, they got to be ready to go ahead and carry that burden that we're going to need as far as replacing Tyson. We're missing those block shots, we're missing those rebounds, we're missing those easy buckets around the basket that Tyson can give us. So basically everybody just got to, like I said, step up, do their job, and hopefully we'll be able to capitalize that way.
And then you already mentioned Eric Patton, but also Jake Ellis are going to be obviously big parts of what you do, especially with Tyson out of the rotation. What kind of leaders have those two been in practice, having been here now, kind of done that, obviously being the leaders on the team, but also just what can you expect from them this season? What kind of steps do you expect them to take?
Well, yeah, to be honest, I'm expecting them to score the basketball for us. We're going to need that, Like I said, without Tyson, down around the basket, I'm gonna need Jake and Eric to basically pick up where they left off. They're my top two scorers for last year, so I'm looking for Jake to do what he did last year, which is basically like penetrate off the dribble, but also shoot the basketball from the three range. Eric basically the same. Eric has done a good job of basically transforming his body. Last year he was a bit overweight, but this past summer and I want to say fall, he dedicated himself, and so he's a little slimmer. So now we can probably push him out a little bit towards the wing, put him at the elbow position, and he can be able to operate that way as far as trying to get to the basket, mid-range jumper, whatever the case may be.
Now this weekend, you guys go up the road to Glendale. On Friday, you play Ottawa, and then on Saturday, tough matchup with number 9 Arizona Christian,
right.
Hosted by Arizona Christian. It's the Folks Classic. What would it take to leave Glendale with 2 W's?
Definitely a team effort, and that's on the offensive end and the defensive end. I think for us, what's going to have to happen is we're going to have the defensive tenacity that we're going to need. We're going to have the offensive capability that we're going to need, and basically, man, we just got to play a well-rounded game. We're going to basically throw everything at them and the kitchen sink because, like we mentioned earlier, I'm without a couple of guys, and so like I said, it's got to be a collective team effort. I always like to say with my guys, we got to be a cohesive unit, and that's what it's what's got to take. From the first man to the last man, for us to get 2 wins out of there.
Cool. Coach, thanks for sitting down with us. Good luck this weekend. Good luck the rest of the season. And thanks everyone for tuning in to the Buccaneers Coaches Show. We'll see you next time.
All right. Thank you.